Hey everyone, Suzi here, and today we're not playing King Arthur Legends Rise. For today's video, we're checking back in for some really big news. They are terminating service. End of the game. Alright, so I haven't played in quite a while, but I did cover this game on this channel, so I thought it appropriate to make a quick video about this. First things first, am I surprised? Not at all. From literally the first couple days of gameplay, everything about it screamed cash grab. There was really no marketing. I never got a single ad once for this game. Actually, no. I think I saw an ad once on Facebook when it first came out, where they were trying to say they were the raid killer. But they literally used that in their marketing. But overall, there was just like this lack of care, it felt like, from the devs. It was like they put out a game with a very small hero pool that people could beat the whole game within a month of barely trying. Kidding, not kidding. It was overly generous in the sense of being able to get all the heroes too easily because there was such a small pool of heroes. And while they did increase the content a little bit here and there, it never felt like it was really going anywhere. Now, I'm going to read through this thing here after I give my other initial thoughts. But yeah, I always felt weird about the game. It didn't feel like it was a passion project. It just felt like it was an IP cash grab, make a ton of money. And if you looked at the packs in the game, it was just straight up ridiculous. It would be like $500, buy this character and these super OP things. And you're just like, what? It was just straight up like, buy a character for $100, buy this character for $100, buy this for $200. Like, while high priced packs are okay, it was just weird that someone could go in, probably, I only spent a couple $100s in the game, and I felt like a kraken, and I had no content creator perks. But someone could go in, spend a few $1,000s, and just be maxed out so easily in that game. And they were capitalizing on that. It just felt like if people can go in and guarantee to have a maxed out Inspiration or Awakened 5, whatever the hell they called it, Awakened 10 character in that game, they would do it. And it made people just spend crazy amounts of money to instantly get max things and feel powerful. And it worked. I'm sure they made a lot of money. But it just felt like it immediately was going to have a short shelf life. And it didn't even last a year. So I think that's right. Not even a year? Yeah. I gotta go look back at the dates, but I'm pretty sure that's not even a year from when this came out. Because I remember posting around, was it in December? Soon after? So, it's all a blur. My timelines are a blur, so I could be wrong. However, anyway, regardless, I don't know, guys. I'm not surprised. It felt weird from the start. And Netmarble is known to do like IP cash grabs or take over a project, because I think this used to be called Project Knights, and it was with Kabam as the lead developer, the only developer. And then Netmarble kind of took over the project, it seems like, but partnering with Kabam still. They probably bought the project to save it, make a bunch of money, then just... I don't think they had a long-term goal. I think the companies wanted to cut their losses. It was one of the games that was in beta for a while, and like the beta had a very negative community sentiment. Or the alpha? I think it was a beta. I think it was the betas. They had a very negative community sentiment. I remember like this game was coming out at the same time Dragonair, Watcher of Realms, and King Arthur all were coming out at the same time. I went with Dragonair. And then I did end up deciding to go with Watcher of Realms a little as well for the actual launch. But, and I did play this at launch too, but I didn't play the betas because I was like, I don't know, like, it looks good, but it felt like there was too much hype for such a weird, limited game. There was all these super, super, super kraken things, like you had to have 5 copies of a character or 3 copies of a character before you could even use certain weapon slots, and it everything was like very pay to win overall. And it just felt dirty. It felt bad. But I ended up playing it anyway because it did look cool. And at the time, Dragonair had quit, you know, the US. They'd cut the US. I was kind of happy to find another game that was in this dark fantasy sort of genre. And well, the timing ended up being okay for me to give it a try. They had a decent content creator program with the whole revenue share thing. That was cool. But I just never loved it from the beginning. If you guys watch my 1-week review of King Arthur Legends Rise, I'm just complaining about the game the whole time. And even my very first 1 hour of gameplay video, where normally you're excited, you're checking things out, you're like, ooh, this looks cool, this is fun. I'm like, ugh, I don't like this. Ugh, this feels weird. Oh man, I don't know. Like, I was just not feeling it. Like, it just felt off. So there are my initial thoughts of rambling about this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. How did you feel? I'm just being completely honest as a player of this game and as a content creator of this game, how I felt. And I just never felt good. So I have zero surprise. I'm not at all shocked. But let's read their official statement. We extend our sincere apologies for having to deliver this sudden and regrettable news to all our users and the community. We would like to inform you that the service of King Arthur Legends Rise will officially terminate on Thursday, March 12th. The unwavering interest and support you've shown has been fundamental in sustaining the service until now. However, after extensive internal consideration and discussion, we've arrived at the difficult decision that it's no longer feasible to continue service. We extend our deepest gratitude to everyone who joined us on this journey in Britain. Please refer to the information below for the schedule regarding the service termination. So, end of game download block date, the 12th. Payment and in-app purchases, December 9th. Oh, this is actually pretty honorable. There has to be some laws about taking advantage of people when you've announced a termination, so this is probably for a good reason. But they're actually terminating in-app purchases starting today. You cannot purchase anymore. The shop will now trigger pop-ups and purchases will be unavailable. See, this is one of those things where I felt annoyed when some of the stuff happened with ByteDance, because if ByteDance was going to shut down this entire gaming sector and kick out the US from like a lot of its things, like what happened with TikTok scare, what happened with all their other apps for a moment, and like Dragonair kicking out the US as a direct result of being under Nuverse. Even Watcher of Realms, actually, Nuverse was their publisher, and that's when the US had that temporary shutdown. Like, I felt like they could have given notice. They knew they were going to do that. You don't just decide overnight you're going to do that. So people had spent money up until the day things started happening in some of these apps and some of these games. And that doesn't feel right. But this, I have to give some props and appreciation that they're not holding out, saying, sorry, end of service is next week. They could have waited till March to say this possibly, right? Is that a thing? I don't know. There's probably laws around that, but there's certainly had some weird stuff happen with other games that make me question. I see other games terminate and they're just like, yep, terminate immediately, end of service, sorry guys, bye. And then people have to deal with getting refunds and it's a headache, but they're preventing that ahead of time. They are preventing in-app purchases starting today. Okay, in their official community, Discord, and like SNS, texting stuff, June 13th. So they are going to keep the community open for a while. But yeah, interesting there. Although this journey has come to an end, we deeply cherish some precious time and memories we shared with you all. We promise to do our utmost to ensure that you can continue to enjoy the game without inconvenience until the last moment of service. So, yeah, that's the thing. All right, well, I'm completely not surprised. I'm not trying to be rude. I never loved, if you watch my videos from the very first live stream, I never loved it. Like, I felt like there was just something, there were so many cool, amazing, interesting quirks about the game, and the graphics were really good. That it was done with Unreal Engine. Like Dragonair also is extra special with Unreal Engine, but that's not optimized for mobile, aka why both of these games make your phones want to explode. And it felt, this game felt beautiful. There were some amazing boss fights, but then there were some things that were just lazy, terrible clipping, weird awkwardness. It's windy or raining and it just looks like it's choppy. Like it looked bad in some cases, and I guess I expected better. Then when you saw some of the things be so beautiful and then some of it be so bad, I felt weird about it. And so the game is definitely one of those that's fun for a bit, but I felt like most of the people I've talked to, or when I've heard other people suggest the game, be like, this is fun for like a month and you'll probably get bored of it. Yeah. I appreciated it for the time I did it. It was a fun little content creator journey of learning another game and I enjoyed making content on the game. In the end, I did. And I liked the weird adventure stuff, but 'tis what it is. So yeah, March 12th, I mean, by then, hopefully Godforge is out with early access, and early access for Godforge also means... So let me just play some Godforge in the... No, I'm not gonna... I'm not gonna keep talking, I'm rambling too much. But yeah, Godforge coming out, the hope is February, March. So it should be out by then, hopefully, if all things go as planned. And at least early access for early access for Godforge means the game is out. It's just going to be the minimum viable product, which means a more basic version of the game, like you might think in like a beta or early access. And then more features will be added thereafter, and the game's just going to be out in a more simplified form. Like when Raid first came out and it didn't even have a spider boss. It didn't have faction wars, it didn't have a tower, it didn't have any of that. Godforge is going to be coming out with a lot more than what Raid even had for its launch. So that, at the very least, will be lots of fun. This should be pretty good timing. It should be a very similar audience, but I thought it was appropriate to address this and give my honest thoughts and reaction. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Be sure to tell your friends if you guys are in other Discords and you know people are playing this or debating finding a new game, to be aware. I was going to say don't spend, but at least they're not letting you happen. But hey, if you guys are waiting for Godforge and you want to have a little fun with a free-to-play project, maybe install King Arthur Legends Rise, play this free-to-play for a couple months, keep yourself entertained and have a little fun and get the brain rolling for some new mechanics. And I will see you in the next video. That will definitely not be King Arthur Legends Rise.
Reaching